Frybert. Fry. Good morning, everyone. It is Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and Fry is bothering Loki, so he is off camera, but I'm sure he'll come on at some point during today's show. It is November the 3rd, and we have made it to Friday. Good morning, MLS, making law simple for the rest of us who are no lawyers yet. I mean, look, Daryl Brooks is slowly sending me his post it notes, and one day I will truly be a third party intervener on behalf of my non client client. Good morning, Eris and Christine. We have a lot of good stories this morning. And like I said, Fry is running around bothering the cat because that is what Frybert does of the mornings. Our first story is a good story from Florida. You know, we need good stories from Florida. We can't have, we do have a Florida whoa man story, but we do have good stories from Florida once in a while. It is always a plus when we have a good story from Florida, which is always rare. We are live, of course. As per usual, it's a good story from Florida, which never really happens, so I had to pick it up. But a little boy dials 911 just so he can give a deputy a hug. I know your phone number. That would be a terrible, terrible idea, but good for PR for Disney. But as Disney World would be the worst place and the last place I would visit, that would be terrible for me. You know, as one would say. He just wanted a hug. A Florida sheriff's deputy, our office deputy, was dispatched to a home after responding to a disconnect call from the residents, only to find an adorable reason for the alert. When Hillsborough County Sheriff's Deputy Scott Pratcht arrived at a Riverview, Florida home, he learned that the 911 call came from a young boy who, quote, wanted to give him a hug. WFLA TV reported. Doorbell footage captured the moment that Pratch knocked on the door uh, to respond to what he thought might have been an emergency. A woman comes from the side of the property and greets Pratch. She's visibly confused as to why he's at the residence. He asks, "Is this your home?" Uh, the, to the woman, which she says, "Yes. Is everything okay? We had a call from 911." Video fast forwards slightly just when the woman swings open the door and demands to her son to come to talk to the officer and bring his phone. To be honest, he doesn't even know what 911 is. The mother apologetically tells the officer. The small child runs out with a phone and is asked by the mother, "Did you call the police?" Okay, a couple things here, and I am in no way, look, my kids have tablets, but they're not phones. So we haven't had this happen yet. I'm sure it could happen to anyone, but you know, maybe don't give your kids phones or disable that little call button. The small child runs out with a phone and is asked by the mother, "Did you call the police?" And he says, "Well, I wanted to give him a hug." The boy answers sweetly before rushing at Pratch. The mother takes the child's phone and looks through the cellular device when she discovers the young boy did indeed call 911, showing Pratch his call history. "I know what your number is. It's 911," the boy tells Pratch. Pratch turned the adorable moment into a teaching lesson as he briefed the boy about the seriousness of using 911 in emergency situations. "Yeah, you do, but you know what 911 is? It's for if you're in trouble, if you need help, or if someone you know around you is in trouble and needs help," Pratch explained. Well, she just set up the child to be charged with malicious use of a communication device, and I wouldn't put it past the state to charge a young child. If you're in Wisconsin, yes. Florida was like, "We can't have." Eh Yeah, that's kind of what I look, if you give your child a phone, why wouldn't you disable the call features? I mean, I'm not saying Mr. Mo or I have been above. Look, the amount of shenanigans the boys have gotten into, I have n I am in the glassed house of glass houseinesses. So, there but for the grace of God go I. So I really can't throw stones. And good morning, Irish and Kim. So, I can't really throw stones, but I would say to forestall this, if you are going to give your child a phone, either lock the phone's phoniness if you know how to do that. I don't, which is why I give my children tablets. Give them a baby burner phone. Well, dang it. Or, you know, it well, I know, but again, as much of shenanigans, like, look, let's be honest, if I got pulled over when my boys were talking about their handwork, I would be in a yellow jumpsuit. Or an orange jumpsuit until I could have explained. So, and my kids don't get phones until they're older too. So look, every family is different, and I do try not to judge because look, like I said, the shenanigans my boys have gotten into, a whole 'nother level than I ever thought I would have to deal with. Well, that's good. I love if they're honey nut, we're good. If they're just plain, I don't know how you do it. But Godspeed and thank God for your cholesterol. Quote, "It's very important. You've got to be careful when you call that number, okay? Only in emergencies, if you're hurt or someone else is hurt, your mom needs help, you know someone's doing something they're not supposed to, just give us a call." Well, now he set up a narc. Pratch said. Okay, the child innocently responds, then apologizes by saying sorry after being directed by his mother to. Pratch quickly forgives the child with no hesitation and reassures the mom it's okay. 10-4, the kid just wanted a hug, Pratch immediately says on his radio before the video cuts out. She gets your kids the type of phone that only calls two numbers, you and 911. They won't get in trouble with that. Oh, really? My kids, David, I think we're underestimating Griffin's ability to get in trouble. He would get in trouble. You monster. I'm just kidding. You're being a responsible adult and not eating a bunch of sugar on top of things that, you're eating healthily. It's a better idea. In other news, I knew I'd found my people. I've been searching my whole life and I've found them. My Smurfy Feral one, I could write a book. Letters to my last. What's better than sex and weed? How about a new West Hollywood one-stop pleasure campus? Um, Not booking flight to Hollywood right now. Tell no one. Uh, West Hollywood's goal of becoming the new Amsterdam moved one step closer to reality last month with the October 26th opening of Pleasure Med. This cannot end. Salbert, I sense a hilarious real live meetup and outing. The city's fourth legally licensed and third currently open cannabis consumption lounge. This one definitely or Deftly navigates the state and local regulations to make weed, booze, and grub seamlessly available to patrons under one roof, well, technically two very close adjoining roofs, against a stylish, well designed backdrop that's part of part speakeasy, part greenhouse, part Cuban cigar bar, and all fun with a sly dash of sexiness thrown in for good measure. That subtle and sometimes not so subtle sexiness manifests itself in unexpected places, including the drink menu that offers up concoctions called the porn star slush and spicy like a sleepover, and bathroom wallpaper with patterns such as cheeky mushrooms and reclining nude card players. It's an all a nod to the pleasure chest, the sex toy emporium next door. It really is a one stop shop. Yes, Bobby, you came in just the right time. And phrasing, I know. Oh, yeah, well, Hollywood and such, which shares a parking lot and an owner, Brian Robinson. On a recent visit shortly before Pleasure Med opened to the public, Robinson said his original idea was to open a dispensary inside the existing adult boutique because what's better than the devil's lettuce and sex? I think we need to. W I mean, I think we need a little bit of this. Uh, but when the long vacant machine shop next door went up for auction, he expanded his vision into something more like a one-stop vice shop. What exactly does a ding-dong toy dealer know about slinging the sticky icky? I asked Robinson that. Well, not exactly in those terms, but on a tour of what he's billing as a pleasure campus. Quote, when people go to the pleasure chest for the first time, they're surprised that it's not what they expected. Oh, I'm expecting terrible, terrible things, really weird people, and a back room that needs a lot of Lysol. But, I'm sure Robinson told the Times, quote, "They see people laughing and they talk to our staff about anything." Look, I see Sal and I giggling like 12-year-old children, but that's me and Sal. And they don't feel like they need a shower afterwards. No, I'm pretty sure Sal and I are gonna need a shower afterwards. Just from laughing so much and feeling gross. There's a respect, a sense of encouraging people to go on their journey without shame. It's an acceptance of all kind of people, big and small, old and young, rich and poor. We want you to walk in and feel accepted for the sexual person you are, and it's the same thing with this. Oh no, there would be pointing and laughing with Sal and I there, which is probably why we would get kicked out in about 5 minutes. Patrons embarking on this particular shame free journey have a lot to look forward to, especially if they arrive after sunset when the trippy video art install. Oh, dear Jesus, they have video art. Oh my God, please let it be the 1970s film Deep Throat. I'm just kidding. Um, Created by Robinson and New York-based video design studio Optical Animal projected on the western wall of the building. At its most striking, Mind the Jaguar, the 6,500 square foot space includes an alfresco cocktail bar, a cannabis dispensary, a food forward consumption lounge, each with its own point of entry. Well, I mean, it doesn't look terrible. Visitors also have some strategic choices to make. You know, Eris, at this point, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm done. I'm so tired of yeah, at this point, I'm kind of and welcome before I go. Uh, if an alcoholic beverage is on the agenda first, Destination should be toward the rear of the property, home to the outdoor bar and lounge area called the Hind. The joke just writes itself. That's a soft pitch right there, which serves close to a dozen specialty cocktails and a trio of zero proof ones, as well as okay, if you go to a bar and you buy a non alcoholic cocktail, what is the point? Asking for a friend, uh, as well as food for from an adjacent kitchen. It's a smallish place that can fit up to 45 people, but somehow feels much bigger. Okay, this is not a selling point, and yeah, these look like the people you'd expect to see. I don't understand dreadlocks. God bless the people that have them, but it just seems an interesting idea. Well, I mean, so look, you can go here and get all the things you want, and you can have a smexy high time if you'd like, if you're in North Hollywood. But you have to be in North Hollywood and or I'm sorry, West Hollywood. Okay, chicken wings, I could be okay. I don't know. Oh, dang it, now that's gonna be in my head too now. Dang it, Eris, earworm. A man who might wish that he was in West Hollywood right now. Sam Bankman-Fried convicted of $10 billion fraud as his parents look on in tear, capping Crypto King's epic fall. Now you can call him Sam Bankman-Fraud. A Manhattan federal jury has convicted Sam Bankman-Fried of stealing $10 billion from users of his crypto exchange and lying to lenders and investors, capping a fall from grace for the ex-billionaire who was once viewed as one of crypto's brightest stars. The 31-year-old disgraced tech mogul was found guilty on all seven fraud and conspiracy charges stemming from a scheme to swipe money from users of his FTX exchange to pay off debts at his failing hedge funds, Alameda Research, and purchase lavish real estate. Bankman Fried, wearing a gray suit and purple tie, stood calmly with his hands folded across his lap as the verdict was read in a packed Manhattan federal courtroom on Thursday night. As he was led out of the courtroom, he looked over his shoulder and gave a quick nod to his distraught parents, Stanford Law School professors Barbara Fried and Joseph Bankman, who walked up t- up to the first row of the court gallery and tried to speak with him. Bankman Fried's mother then put her hands in her head in her hands. The jury comprised of 9 women and 3 men deliberated for just 4 hours before reaching the decision. The former crypto Golden Boy's conviction followed a months-long trial coming roughly 1 year after his companies imploded in November 2022, leaving thousands of customers unable to withdraw their funds. Yes, he might wish he had a little bit of the devil's lettuce, if you will. He was convicted on 7 counts, including wire fraud, securities fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. He faces up to 110 years in prison when he's sentenced on March 28th. Bankman Fried made the rare and risky choice to testify in his own defense. He claimed more than 100 times during the 4 days on the witness stand that he could not recall repeatedly promising that his platform was safe or ordering an underling to build a secret computer code allowing Alameda to siphon FTX customer funds. The cocky math whiz was then confronted with a mountain of tweets, email, congressional appearances, and media interviews, revealing he did, in fact, say dozens of things he claimed not to remember. Hello, Wolfram. Well, it's easy to remember things when you're saying them in a tweet and hard to remember them when you're asked them by a prosecutor. It's like, it's sudden witness box forgetfulness. It's the real thing, dude. Just say it. It's like I had sudden traumatic amnesia on the witness stand. It's a real thing. It's gonna be in the DSM-5 soon. He thought he could fool reporters, the public, and now you, federal prosecutor Danielle Sassoon said in the final pitch to jurors Thursday morning. You know better, Sassoon added. She also asked you to look at her hair because she used Vidal Sassoon hair products. I'm just kidding. She did not say that. I added that. Bankman Fried testified that his companies went bankrupt because of honest mistakes, not crimes. He claimed repeatedly to not recall ordering Alameda, which he described publicly as a neutral piece of market infrastructure, to have unheard of arrangement allowing it to hoover up FTX funds with a near unlimited line of credit. Bankman Fried chalked up the collapse to oversights in risk management and testified he wasn't aware that his hedge fund had borrowed billions from his exchange until days before the implosion. You know, as you do, you're like, I have a gajillion dollars. I don't know where it goes. I never pay attention. I'm just hanging out with my girlfriend playing WoW and picking my belly button lint. It's not like I'm working with people's retirements or anything. Federal prosecutors blasted these claims and dozens of other statements made by Bankman-Fried in his time running FTX. You know, you'd think his lawyer, Professor Parents, would tell him, "Hey, if you're gonna take the stand, maybe don't act like a daggone idiot." As MLS says, you know, I generally don't like to put my lying guilty as sin person up on the stand. So perhaps he could have, worked on a better defense than I don't remember. It never happened. I mean, at least Griffin makes up ninjas and robblers. Next time, if you go on appeal, Mr. Bankman-Fried, um, I I implore you, this is not legal advice, this is Mo advice, which is not recommended by anyone except the gremlins in my head, so feel free to use this because it would just be hilarious. But I say go full Griffin. Say it was Robblers and a ninjas and that you never did it. It was Robblers. And then ask where Letitia Stalk and, Maria Sanchez were at this particular time. Uh, At oh, and dozens of other statements by Bankman-Fried in his time running FTX as part of a pyramid of deceit meant to obscure the fallen crypto king's role in masterminding the massive fraud. Quote, "You can't walk into a jewelry store, steal a diamond necklace, then walk out and say there was no security guard," Sassoon said at the end of her closing statement in the case. He knew what he was doing was wrong, and that's why he didn't hire a risk officer. The Fed's star witness, Carolyn Ellison, who served as Alameda's CEO and also dated Bankman-Fried, was also confronted the crypto mogul in court, matter-of-factly telling the jurors that her expo decided to make off with the customer's digital cash. "He directed me to commit these crimes," Ellison said, pointing her at her former lover seated at the defense table. Bankman-Fried was willing to both lie and steal if he believed that he doing so would benefit the greater good of society, Ellison told the jurors in one of her most damning pieces of testimony. Ellison said fellow ex-FTX executives Harry Wang and Nishad Singh all pleaded guilty to fraud charges and testified against their former boss, telling jurors that the cocky math whiz ordered Singh to give Alameda so-called backdoor accesses to customer funds. To believe the defendant's story, you have to ignore all evidence, prosecutor Nicholas Rose Roos said in his closing statement this week. You have to ignore the testimony of his partners in crime. A lawyer for Bankman Fried had countered what the feds had unfairly portrayed as an honest entrepreneur as some sort of monster who set out to steal from his customer. He was really stupid with his money, though. Like, live like a hippie. If you're going to steal everyone's money, at least live it up before getting taken down. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, uh, Cohen also tried to sow doubt on the testimonies of Ellison and the former FTX brass, claiming that their stories sounded like rehearsed roles in a Hollywood movie where Bankman Fried was cast as a villain. The prosecution focused on painting Bankman Fried as the bad guy by bringing up details like his famously casual wardrobe, his unkempt hairdo, which he traded during the trial for a suit and a more tightly cropped haircut done by a fellow inmate at his Brooklyn lockup to distract jurors from the gaps in the case, Cohen claimed. Quote, "We all agree that there was a time that Sam probably was the worst dressed CEO in the world and had probably the worst haircut. No one gives two poops in a handbasket what he looked like. People care that he stole people's money, people's hardworking money that they thought would be safe with this dork. They thought they were getting an exchange for money. They worked hard for that money, and they thought this little dweeb was going to take care of it, so they trusted him for the greater good, and he laundered that to do whatever the hell those nerdy people were doing that understand computers and junk. I don't care about his haircut. Defense, no one gives two craps in a handbasket about his haircut. They were worried that he was stealing all the monies. Juries also heard from victims who lost money they'd invested in cryptocurrency held with FTX. The Fed's first witness, French cocoa trader Marc Antoine Julliard, testified he was never able to pull around $100,000 in funds he'd stored on FTX after seeing ads and interviews depicting Sam Bankman Fried as the future face of crypto industry. Good morning, Dennis. On the witness stand, Sam Brakeman-Fried appeared to show little to no emotion while recounting his version of why the companies folded, but he admitted his business meltdown was a steep fall from what he set out to accomplish when he founded FTX in 2019. "We thought we could build the best product on the market," he said when his lawyer Cohen asked him about why he started the company. "Did it work out that way?" Cohen asked him. Bankman-Fried responded in a flat, nasal monotone. "No, it basically turned out the opposite that way," he said before adding, "A lot of people got hurt." Dude, you should have said that first. You don't look, it's not about you. No, like I said, no one gives two huffs in a handbasket what you look like. You stole from innocent people. People work hard for their money. I know you don't understand that because you were raised coddled and ridiculous, but people actually do work hard for their money. And, when you steal it, they get pissed off. We don't care that you look like a major homeless person when you were a CEO. No one gives a crap. You stole people's money. There you go. In other news, if you're afraid of clowns, there is actually a scientific reason for that. Scientists reveal the very surprising reason that 5% of people are terrified of clowns. So, if you are terrified of clowns, there is science behind that. So, have hope. Well, at least hope you're not weird. There's actually science behind it. So, scientists have revealed why 5% of people in the US are afraid of clowns, and it's not rooted in a scary clown experience related in childhood, experiences or anything like that. So you didn't get, scared of, oh gosh, Bozo the Clown as a child. You didn't get, those 5 buckets. Get the you didn't get the final prize on the 5 buckets. Homie the Clown didn't, smack you upside the head like in Living Colors. Well, I know you love clowns, Bobby, but some people don't, and there's a scientific reason for it. Uh, Instead, the fears are rooted in a handful of typical clown characteristics, according to a new study by US psychologists. Can we just pause here? Government. I would like to study the effects of giving me a lot of money. Um, Giving a local housewife a lot of money to learn stuff on the internet, um, and climate change. I think if I add climate change to that, I can get a federal grant. Um, How do people get to do all these studies? Because holy goodness, I could do a stupid study about stuff and get money. Oh, okay, don't forget Emmett Kelly and Red Skeleton. True. I believe Red Skeleton was from Indiana, by the by. Researchers at the University of South Wales surveyed more than 500 people who are scared of clowns, known as callurophobia. They could have just called it clown phobia, but no, we have to go Latin on it. There you go. I swear, Eris, we need to come up with, how to get, uh, all of these government grant monies for dumb studies, and found a number of surprising reasons for their phobia. The most commonly cited was not being able to tell what the clown really feels due to the painted on smile and the terrifying portrayal in some movies, such as the character Pennywise in 2017 version of Stephen King's It. The elements of a clown's appearance, including tufts of brightly colored hair and the big red nose, can also be disturbing. Philip Tyson, a psychology professor at the University of South Wales, has taught phobia classes for 15 years. Every year, a consistent minority of students would admit they are terrified of clowns. Around 5% of the population are afraid or very afraid of clowns, according to a recent survey. Professor Tyson and colleagues were so intrigued by the fear that they developed a survey to determine where their phobia originated from. One of the most surprising findings, Mr. Tyson told the Washington Post, was that having a scary personal experience with a clown wasn't a major contributor to the fear. Research was published in the Journal of Frontiers in Psychology, although it's not based on a representative sample of the population. The study offers insight on why people fear clowns. One intriguing reason the participants mentioned that you never really know what the clown is thinking. Their painted on smile or frown makes it difficult to know what's really going on in their mind. There's something about not being able to read facial expressions, Mr. Tyson explained, and the fact that there might be something hidden and dangerous, there might be some harmful intent behind the makeup. Phobias can often arise from characters or objects that look close to human but not exactly, such as aliens or robots. So, this is where we get into that uncanny valley thing. So, there was an interesting story on the first Shrek movie. So, Fiona was one of the first times that they had a human a very human-looking CGI character, because if you remember before that, we kind of had Toy Story, and the humans looked really doll-like. It was really weird how the humans looked, and they got Fiona to look really, really human, and they had to pull back on that because you got to an uncanny valley sort of, look, and the uncanny valley look, I tell this story a lot, but, in the Terminator, the first Terminator movie, I think Steven, Spielberg had, like, I believe $15, the equivalent in Hollywood. It had a very low budget for the movie of its type because people were not sure how much money it was actually going to make, a robot coming back from the future to it was Hollywood was not quite sure how it was going to work, and Steven Spielberg was a fairly new director at the time. So, they had Arnold Schwarzenegger and, they didn't have a lot of money, so Steven Spielberg had them either shave off or hide, Arnold Schwarzenegger's eyebrows, which, heightened sort of the uncanny valley. There's something off about his face, and you don't quite figure out what is off about his face, but your mind subconsciously picks it up. So, it's part of that uncanny valley kind of thing. So, it subconsciously freaks you out. Like that new Snow White, not the Daily Wire one, but the one from the cursed one from Disney with those CGI dwarfs that look terrible. Now, for Florida, whoa, man. I like weird looking things, so I'm okay with it. Well, I'm okay with it, but it does strike people sometimes. Don't get in an argument with this woman about rum. Apparently, she takes her booze seriously, as you should. I'm just kidding. Do not get into argument about booze. It's not that deep. A Florida woman whacks a man in the head with a hammer during an argument about rum. A deputy says, Marion County, Florida, a woman is behind bars after allegedly whacking a man in the head during an argument about rum, according to the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Lori Wilds is charged with felony aggravated battery with a deadly weapon after an incident that unfolded Wednesday, according to the arrest affidavit. The victim said he was in the garage when Wilds came in arguing about the missing rum in the home, the affidavit said. The man said he doesn't drink rum, and that's when Wilds started knocking things over. During Wilds' reported rampage, she grabbed the man around the neck and started punching him. The man was not able to get away, but that's when Wilds came at him with a hammer. Or the man was able to get away, but that's when Wilds came at him with a hammer. Good morning, Jamie. Yeah, okay, so don't take this chick's rum. For the love of all that is holy, ma'am, there's according to, Wendy Adelson, there is like or Adelson, there are like booze stores everywhere. It's called Go Get Some More Rum. At first, the man didn't know what he was hit with, but then realized it was the blunt side of a hammer. Deputies said there was a small scrape with fresh blood on the man's head. The hammer was a standard one with a black and blue handle. I don't know why we need to go into the handles. Yeah, she wilded out with she was wilds with wild and found by the deputy. When deputies caught up with Wilds, they observed a strong odor of alcoholic beverage on her breath. My shock, you can't imagine it. She also said the argument she had with the man was only verbal, but admitted to throwing an alcohol bottle at him. Good Lord, Amber Heard 2.0, Florida version, are you okay? And throwing his laptop on the floor. Wilds remains at the Marion County Jail on a $500 bond. Dude, do not bail her out. Do not bail her out, sir. Leave her behind in jail. Sarah Boone, not intentionally. I never drank. The glass bridge that broke and killed a tourist in Indonesia wasn't even a half-inch thick, investigators say. Now, first, let me explain to you that Mo would never, and I do mean never, get on a glass bridge over a high place. That just seems like a terrible, horrible, very bad idea. But apparently, some people enjoy walking on high, dangerous places so they can look down for the rush of the thing. I don't. It seems crazy to me, but Godspeed if you're an adrenaline junkie. A glass panel broke on a 32-foot high suspension bridge in Indonesia on October 25th. The accident resulted in one death, according to Jakarta Post. The company that constructed the bridge was negligent and used thin glass, according to local authorities. A tourist was killed after a glass panel broke on a suspension bridge in Indonesia on October 25th, Jakarta Post reported, citing local police. So let's see. Oh, no, 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 this is a negative night. No. Okay, see, y'all, this is what we call a hell's no for Mo. And God bless the person who passed away. Yeah, yeah, mark safe from all glass bridges. This would be never in the evers. I'm the 32 high foot high suspension bridge was a popular tourist attraction in the Limpalakuakas something foreign pine forest in the central Java Benamias Regency. Look, I have butchered that. I probably have some sort of international agent or incident with that pronunciation. The glass broke while 11 tourists were walking on the bridge at 10 a.m. per the Post. A video of the incident went viral on TikTok, garnering over 2 million views. The video appears to show a person hanging off the bridge and two people pulling the person back. An object that looks like glass can be seen and heard falling to the ground on the video. Eddie Cernata Sidipu, the chief of the city police, told the Jakarta Post that two people fell to the ground when the bridge's glass panel shattered, while two others held onto the handles. One of the people who fell was killed, while the other suffered minor injuries. Insider has not been able to independently verify how many people were injured or killed. August Gus, something else, the head of criminal investigation in the city police, told the Post on October 27th that the construction company that built the bridge was negligent and used thin glass. The bridge was so poorly maintained and failed to undergo safety testing, the August said. Indonesian police's public relations division did not respond to insiders' request for comment. Okay, can maybe look, I'm just saying, shouldn't the city people have had oversight on that? Investigators said the glass was less than half an inch thick. I mean, shouldn't the regency or the principality or the county or whatever this was said, "Hey guys, I've noticed you're constructing this bridge for us and you're using really thin glass." I mean, perhaps. Uh, investigator oh, there we go. Each glass panel used on the Grand Canyon Skywalk in Arizona is nearly 3 inches thick and has a top layer of glass that can be replaced if damaged. Also, still not going on that. You can't fool me. I have seen Final Destination. Okay. Uh, Eddie, the chief look, I'm not playing this game. Eddie, the chief senior commander of the city police, told the Post on Wednesday that Edie Cienzo, the owner and manager of the bridge, has been charged with negligence that led to the death of a tourist, and he has since been detained per the report. Uh, the chief told Tribune Solo, a local news outlet, on Monday that Senseo or Sesono, look, and the guy that built it had designed the bridge. He faces up to 5 years in prison if found guilty of committing negligence that resulted in either death or serious injury, the chief said. Insider has not been able to independently verify that he has been detained or the name of his construction company. This is not the first time a glass suspension bridge has raised safety concerns. In May 2021, a man was stranded on a glass suspension bridge in China after strong winds shattered several of the bridge's panels. In February 2022, cracks were seen on the panels of the tallest glass suspension bridge in Vietnam, prompting authorities to conduct safety checks. See, I'm telling you guys, I have watched Final Destination. You are not getting my currently slightly fluffy behind on there. Good morning, Nikki. And then in a follow-up to this is our last story. In a follow-up to one of the stories that I reported on earlier, this is the judge that was texting during that murder trial. She has responded. to the allegations that she was, doing all the texting and disparaging the defendant and generally just being a horrible, horrible judge that shouldn't be on the bench. So let's see what her response is because I'm sure it will be ludicrous. I mean, it will be measured and awesome. The judge accused of texting during murder trials submits response to allegations. I'm sure it'll be great. Let's see what she says. A Lincoln County judge accused of texting her bailiff hundreds of times during her first murder trial submits her response to allegations against her. Okay, chat, do we want to guess? Do we want to guess that it's going to be, I'm a woman and you're being mean to me? This is all misogyny, or um, you shouldn't spy on judges. This is a violation of my privacy. What are we guessing? Are we guessing, I don't know. Yeah, she was texting her bailiff the entire time and, just, like, fiddle farting and giggling and saying, disparaging things about the mother of this dead child, the murder case that she was, going presiding over, being blatantly, unbiased in her, sort of comments. Just it was gross. Lincoln County Judge Tracy Soderstrom made national headlines after cameras caught her allegedly texting her bailiff hundreds of times during her first murder trial of a 2-year-old beaten to death in June 2018. Quote, those security cameras are for securities, not to be spying on judges. Tracy Schumacher, the judge's attorney, told News 4 back in August. Yeah, but you judges should be doing your damn job and yours wasn't. So, yeah, well, if you're not doing your job, then it court documents revealed Oklahoma Supreme Court Justice John Kane was once Soderstrom taken off the bench. You can find the full petition here. Okay. Kane alleges Soderstrom had already made up her mind that the boyfriend of the child's mother was innocent, the Chief Justice said in the messages. The 50-year-old judge allegedly mocked witnesses, jurors, and prosecutors. After the trial, the security footage of her texting was leaked to the media. Soderstrom asked for the camera to be moved anyway, then put back and asked for privacy boxes to be put up over her desk instead. They are able to zoom in on her handwriting on the bench, said Schumacher. That's not possible, Sheriff Charlie Doherty told the county commissioners at August meeting shortly before the commissioners voted to take the black boxes down. Online records show that the judge submitted her response to the removal petitions. You can find that document here. According to the documents, Judge Soderstrom said that, quote, when the security camera was initially removed, she was not aware of any publicity regarding alleged texting until Lincoln County Sheriff Charlie Doherty advised Soderstrom that he had provided security camera footage to the district attorney Adam Painter, who then leaked the footage to reporter Nolan Clay of the Oklahoman, who broke the story. Quote, the issue is in Lincoln County. The sheriff's office, who has control over the data, provided it to someone who provided it to the press, said Schumacher. Soderstrom adds DA Painter asked for the footage under the guise of an investigation and was provided the potential evidence without a warrant, court order, or subpoena. According to the court documents, the sheriff confirmed that he often gives Painter such potential evidence because the district attorney is a person of trust. Also in the response, Soderstrom admitted to posting on Facebook about her bloopers in the courtroom. In one post, she allegedly wrote about her first domestic docket. Finally, a subject I completely understand and can't possibly screw up. What the? Ma'am, you are a judge. What is wrong with you? District Attorney Adam Painter told News 4 he is unable to comment on the specifics of the allegations against Judge Soderstrom. However, he can comment on the issue as a whole. The district attorney said after the investigation was thoroughly conducted, the Council on Judicial Complaints allowed Judge Soderstrom an opportunity to explain her conduct. Quote, rather than provide valid reasons behind her conduct, she lied to the council and refused any accountability, D.J. Painter told News 4 in a statement. Judge Soderstrom is an embarrassment to our judicial system and to the people of the state of Oklahoma, and I welcome the opportunity to testify about the specifics of her egregious and unprofessional conduct that I witnessed in support of her removal. Yeah. What? I thought we already fell back. Maybe I'm confused. Good morning, bad weather biker. Isn't I thought air was now considered an hysterophobium. So let's see what she wrote. Okay. So, since taking the bench in January 2023, respondent has published various posts. Okay, so these are violations that she's made. And then she responded. Oh, yeah, we've read these. Yeah, so she made posts to Facebook and she texts and everything. So this judge is just she needs to be off the bench. She is not behaving in a way that is even slightly judicial, and it's just instead of taking responsibility and womaning up, putting her big girl bra and panties on, she's just like, "This is unfair and you shouldn't be able to spy on me." And that is look, I am tired of people doing this kind of thing. It's ridiculous. So, that is all. So, in a wrap up, this judge should probably not be a judge anymore. I will never go on a glass bridge. No, ma'am. No way. No how. Don't let this woman have rum. Don't let her. Oh, crap. I don't wanna. Scientists can scientists say it's okay to be afraid of clowns and it's not your fault. Science says. Sam Bankman-Fried, no one cares that you looked homeless. They care that you stole money, you ding dong. And apparently, if you wanna go to West Hollywood, you can get your Smexy Time toys and your devil's lettuce in one place. So, there you go, one-stop shop. Soon it'll be at all the Walmarts, I'm sure. And this little tot used his phone to call the police for a hug, but maybe mom should maybe pay attention to where he's using the phone. So that is the newsy news for this morning. There is no newsy news on Friday nights because generally Nicholas has a Finally Friday stream. And there will be no newsy news on Monday because I have my spinal trial thingamabob. So I will put a community note or community update thingamabob on YouTube. Uh, but just a reminder, it will not happen on Monday. That would be a that would be an odd idea. But I will be working on, thank you so much, Eris. Thank you guys all for your kind support, and yes, it I will try to get I should be yes, I will. Um, I should be gone most of the morning. I will try to give you guys an update Monday evening, and then I I think Eris is gonna I'm looking at possibly making one. I don't know. You guys know my tech skills. You know my sorry, my daughter I don't look, my phone somehow yes, I'm part of MLS's Discord right now. I don't know if I'm going to so if you're a member at Making Law Simple, his Discord, then I have my own little sub-channel-y deal here. Oh, dear lord. Um, but yes, I'm it's one of my to-do list things. It's nebulous. I don't know. Um, I am going to try to get some Delphi work done this weekend. I know Nathan Nicholas and I wanna get some of that done. We are looking at doing a separate Discord for me. We have a lot of things going. I will say I've been a little distracted, you know, getting ready for this spinal thing. Um, so it's one thing, but I'm gonna let you go. I know that uh Nicholas is streaming the Charlie Adelson thing. And, I am going to be joining him for that after I take Mr. Freiber out and run one person to school who was not feeling the greatest this morning and is now feeling okay to go to school. I think it might have been math quiz related, allegedly, but I'm not pushing too hard, so I will see you all in a little bit. Have a wonderful day. Say something nice to yourself and something nice to someone else if you get a chance to go out. Make the world a little bit nicer for everyone. Have a wonderful day. I will see you in a little bit. Bye, guys.